Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Last week I shared with you how to make a cold process soap using apple cider vinegar. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make an apple cider vinegar body wash. As I mentioned last week, apple cider vinegar is great for balancing skin's pH, brightening complexion, as well as exfoliating the skin. It's a great acne fighter as well. One of the great things about using apple cider vinegar in a liquid surfactant soap like this is that it lowers the pH naturally, so this formula is going to be safe to use head to toe. In this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you a full visual process and step-by-step tutorial of how to put together this wonderful skin-loving apple cider vinegar body wash. If you would like the full written recipe with a detailed step-by-step written tutorial, including percentages so you can scale your recipe up or down as you like, please head over to my Patreon campaign where you can unlock this formula along with 3.5 years of archive recipes for just a small $5 pledge. I also have 4 other tiers on my campaign that you can take advantage of if you like, each with their own unique benefits. We offer things like live monthly classes, live monthly hangouts, gift packages, and coupon codes to my favorite suppliers, just to name a few benefits. It's a great way to connect with me. It's a great way to connect with other makers. I really hope that you'll join the community over there. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below, and I hope you'll check out my other apple cider vinegar soap recipe. All right, let's get started. Okay, so this formula is broken up into 3 phases. We're going to have a water phase, we're going to have a surfactant phase, and then we're going to have a thickening phase at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and weigh off the water needed for this formula. Now, you guys saw my video last week where I used full apple cider vinegar to replace the liquid in my cold process soap. You cannot do this with this type of formula. So first we're going to go ahead and weigh off the water, and then I'll explain why. All right. So next up, we're going to be weighing off the apple cider vinegar needed for this formula. Now I'm using the Bragg organic apple cider vinegar. It has the mother in it. That's what I use for the cold process soap as well. It's just really good for you. It's organic. It has the good bacteria in it. Now, the reason we can't use full apple cider vinegar in this formula is because in a liquid type body wash, first of all, if you use just apple cider vinegar, your pH would be too low, which can actually be irritating to the skin. It can also kind of strip the skin as well. It's too exfoliating. So we're just going to use this at a low percentage. And also the other reason why you wouldn't want to use this at too high of a percentage is because you're going to end up smelling like a salad. So the smell of the apple cider vinegar is very potent, although it is very vinegary. So you just want to make sure. Now I've done all the testing and such for this formula to know exactly how much to use to make sure the pH is balanced and also we're not smelling like salad dressing. So the next thing we're going to do is add in some sodium lactate. Now sodium lactate is a natural humectant. You can use glycerin if you don't have sodium lactate. I'm preferring sodium lactate lately in this type of formula. It has great humectant properties. It's not sticky. And it kind of, I've noticed it kind of gives the formula a little bit more of a conditioning feel. So it's going to help draw moisture to the skin, but it also feels very conditioning. So we're going to go ahead and add in our sodium lactate. Now, next up is the preservative. Again, you want to make sure you're using a broad spectrum preservative and one that can be used, you know, in a wide range of pHs. That's what broad spectrum means. So in this formula, I had to test the pH at this point to make sure that I wasn't too low to use my preservative. And I'm using Liquid Germall Plus, which is a very good broad spectrum preservative. So if you're using something different or you're using a different amount of, I guess what I'm getting at here is if you're using a different amount of water, or you're using a different amount of apple cider vinegar than I am here, then you definitely want to test the pH and make sure it's not below a 4. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and add in our fragrance oil. I am using Honey Spiced Pear. This is from Midwestern Fragrance Company. I used this in the cold process soap as well. I really like this smell. It performs perfectly in both the cold process and the surfactant based soaps. And I like the cidery smell, but I also like this smell better than I like apple smells that I've purchased. So we're gonna go ahead and add in our fragrance oil. Now, I do like to add my fragrance oil into the water phase, even though it's not water soluble, because I try to add my surfactants last wherever possible so I don't kick up too many bubbles. Next, for the water phase, is going to be some PEG 6 Caprylic Capric triglycerides. Now, technically this is a surfactant, however, we use it for its emollient properties. So it's going to bring really nice conditioning emollient properties to this formula. You're going to notice the formula will turn white after we add this in. It won't stay that way. This is just temporary. You'll notice after we give it a stir, it's just kind of combining with that water. It's combining with the fragrance, and it's going to go a little bit cloudy and white. So this is a wonderfully easy formula to put together, super gentle on your skin. A lot of people have reported after using apple cider vinegar washes, soaps, and body washes that their skin has no more issues. I think a lot of that is probably due to the fact that it's an excellent skin pH balancer. There you go. See how it turns white? I wanted to show that to you. It's combining with the fragrance oil, and that's just what happens at this phase, but it won't stay this way. So I've been testing this product, this formula, and I'm considering whether or not I'm going to be selling it because I really like the way it feels. And I like the simplicity of it, that you can use it, you know, on your face and your body. Super gentle. I haven't tested it in my hair yet. I think I'm going to formulate a shampoo with an apple cider vinegar specifically for hair. Let me know if that's a good idea in the comments. Okay, so next up, we're going to be entering into the surfactant phase. Now, the surfactants are liquid detergents. They are the cleansing agent of the formula, and also they bring bubbles to the formula. So the first surfactant we're using is Cocamidopropyl Betaine. This is my favorite liquid surfactant. It's made out of coconuts. It's super natural. It's very stable. It's got a great lather, and it's got a pretty friendly pH. So we're going to go ahead and add in cocoa betaine. Now, this is a sulfate-free formula. The next surfactant we're using is Decyl Glucoside. Decyl Glucoside is also a really friendly surfactant. It's derived from natural and renewable resources. It's used in body washes, soaps, shampoos, and it's plant derived. And then the last surfactant we're going to be adding in are some foaming oats. Foaming oats are a super gentle surfactant. They're known for basically their mild cleansing properties. It's even safe around your eyes. So I really like this one. It's made out of apples. So just to keep with that apple theme, I decided to go ahead and finish off my surfactant phase with some foaming apples. We're making a 1,000-gram batch today. All right, I'm just going to give this a gentle stir to combine my surfactants. So we're just trying to give this a nice stir just to combine all of the ingredients that are in here. Now that fragrance oil, it will solubilize and combine with the water because we've added in our surfactants and they do have a little bit of solubilizing properties. So as you can see, we have a nice kind of apple cider vinegar looking color. It's definitely a lot lighter, but it's got a little bit of a tan color, and we are at a water thin, almost a water thin consistency. So I have already taken the pH. When I was doing my testing of this formula, I took the pH several times throughout the process just to make sure we weren't getting too low, and also to make sure I had the right amount of apple cider vinegar to keep it at a skin-friendly pH. So I tested it right after I added in the apple cider vinegar with the water, and then I tested it at this phase too, when I was formulating it, just to make sure, again, we weren't too high or too low. So with this combination of surfactants and the amount of apple cider vinegar I have put in here, we are sitting right around a 5, maybe a little bit lower, like a 4.8, which is super skin friendly, 4.8 to 5. And that is still true after you add in the thickener. So we're going to go ahead now and move on to the thickening phase of this formula. All right, we are back to go ahead and thicken up this formula. Now I am using Glucose D, my favorite thickener. It's so easy to use, a little bit goes a long way, and it adds some nice conditioning properties to your body washes. This has been sitting in a hot water bath now for 10 minutes because it's super viscous, and if you try to add it in cold, it will take a very long time to combine, like over 24 hours, and you're going to kick up a bunch of bubbles while you're trying to stir it in, and you won't have a good idea of the thickness for a day or so. So when you warm it up in the hot water bath, it becomes more of a liquid consistency, and it just combines very, very nicely with your room temperature formulas. All right, this is a very full container because I combined some of my other one with this one, so we're going to try and do this without making a mess. This is an as needed product, meaning you add in your desired amount. You add in as much as you like to get the desired thickness. So I'm already noticing some nice thickening going on here. All right, and I'll show you this. Viscosity is starting to change, and I'll bring you back when I've brought it up to the thickness that I like it. All right, so I've brought it up to a viscosity that's really nice for a body wash type. Of course, you could bring this up to a gel type of consistency if you like to, a shower gel type, but this is what I like for body washes. Now this formula will go completely clear. Right now it's still a little bit cloudy. And the last thing to do is to go ahead and package it up. So I'm using these cute little Boston round PET containers. I got these from Nature's Garden. They are 8-ounce containers, but they do hold about 10 ounces of liquid volume. So we're just going to go ahead and start pouring these in gently. All right, everybody, there they are, all bottled up, looking gorgeous. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of a use demo here. Now, this didn't fill up all 4 containers. I filled up about 3/4 of the 4th one. So I took some from my test batch, from one of my test batches, and just filled it up, topped it off. All right, we're back to go ahead and do a little bit of a use demo here, but I wanted to talk to you a bit about the apple cider vinegar fragrance itself. Now, even though we haven't used a ton of it in this formula, we've used it to bring it down to a very skin-friendly pH and to give you some of those exfoliating and skin brightening properties. But the apple cider vinegar fragrance will come through a little bit in the finished product. I find if you're using the fragrance that I'm using, the honey spiced pear, that it mixes really well. It actually complements the apple cider vinegar fragrance very well. It pulls out some of that like vinegary note and just gives it a nice tart cidery note. So just be mindful of what fragrance oils you're trying with this. Some of them may not mix as well with your apple cider vinegar. Okay, I'm going to show you what this looks like on a loofah, because this is how I would use it in the shower. Of course, you're going to get a bit of a better lather on a loofah than you would, you know, just lathering it up in your hands. So it has a really nice, just kind of stable, I wouldn't say it's a huge lather like some of the shower gels and stuff that I've shared in the past, but it's got a nice, stable, low foaming and conditioning lather. And of course you can work it up into a bigger lather using your loofah. But it's just super gentle. The active surfactant matter is pretty low compared to some other formulas. And it's just a very nice skin loving body wash. All right, everybody, that is how you make a beautiful apple cider vinegar body wash. I hope you loved it. I hope this video inspired you. If it did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please leave a comment or question below. Share this video with a friend and subscribe to my channel. All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.